But this was just going to be a 15-day expedition in 2013. No idea how it will shape, what will it turn into. Antarctica thing was something out of the blue, which I saw on a documentary on NDTV, where Rob Swan was taking a group of people, and it was such a fascinating episode. Going to Antarctica was simply a dream, nothing else. And being son of an army officer, the travel aspect was always part of my life. Well, Antarctica was too far-fetched as a journey to undertake, but I think it's a dream. I think that's the first dream in my life, which I had, and I thought, let's go for it. So that was the initial touch point I had with Antarctica as a dream.
First time that Paris and I talked, I was quite tough on him. And I said if he really wanted to come to Antarctica, then he really had to raise the money, get his act together and come. And I remember seeing his face thinking, okay, there's a challenge. He met that challenge 100% and came on the expedition. And what he did on the expedition, as with Paris, is always one step further than other people. We did the first ever TEDx from Antarctica, powered only by renewable energy, thanks to Paris.
The penultimate day of the Antarctic expedition was about trekking to a glacier, a Brown Bluff Glacier. I know the name now. And we were all asked to write a letter which would reach us probably in a year or 2 years from that day, and what we plan to envision ourselves after 2 years after this Antarctic expedition. And in that letter I had written that probably I'll start a Himalayan expedition. And wonder oh wonder, 2 years down the line, I got that letter, and yes, I was 2 years into the expedition. So I don't know, the world was conspiring, the earth was conspiring, the God was conspiring, everyone was conspiring that this had to happen.
He really wanted to do something meaningful. And I think that was also the itch that he had now coming back from Antarctica, experiencing what he had and the tremendous opportunity that he could utilize in the field that he wanted to pursue, which was also very much green for him at that point in time. This whole clean energy, field and sustainable development. It was a lot of mixed emotion, but for me personally, I immediately recognized that perhaps something new that he wanted to passionately pursue is the path forward. And the only thing I could do was sit with him to understand how he wants to pursue it.
I think at that time, it wasn't very clear what GHE was. I don't think, I still remember there was no logo. There used to be one doc file that we would and no, not even the doc file. Before that, it just used to be sitting at some mall or something and just talking. And Paras used to be working at that time. He was still working with the company. So he would have his work laptop and, still working on something and still talking about we have to do something. Let's do something. And I'm sure, we're having a coffee. No. We have to do something big.
And then I remember when Paras came back from Antarctica, heard his story, and then he was planning to start GHE. And, we all got this. I got this message from, the GHE communication team, or from Paras. I don't remember, but the first message came in, and actually to both Bandhan and me, that, this expedition is happening. And so I got really excited. I immediately said yes.
And also he really got in his head this idea of having an e-base high up in the Himalayas, which I thought, this is going to take a long time to do. But he came back home, and I realized immediately that he wasn't going to back down. And there he was with a pile of rocks around him and saying, Rob, we're going to have an e-base running on renewable energy here in Ladakh. And I believed him. And I was so proud of the fact that he took it from beginning to make it happen very, very quickly. And without being silly, by Indian standards, it was a miracle.
So when I reached there, it was just a barren land. If you see the picture, it's just me sitting there with a pile of rocks. And we just had 2 months before the guys would come in for the expedition. We had to build that whole structure. So the whole idea of trying to transform a dream into a reality was I was terrified initially, but when I saw the pieces of puzzles getting in together, it really made a lot of sense. And on top of that, you're always scared when the guys would come in, how would they react to it? But the people who came in, they had such immense energy, positive vibes, that when we were all together in a room, you were actually uplifted to another level itself. So I think when you have people with right intentions coming together for an expedition which has a mission towards it, everything falls into place. And I think that's how the GHE journey and the GHE expedition was born in 2013, with 20 people coming from almost 11, 12 countries.
I remember around December, Paras said that, let's electrify a village this time. How does that sound? Let's electrify Sundar Chenmo, the first village that we had given the solar lanterns in for the first time. So, I was like, oh, can we do this? And, it's really exciting to hear that. And everyone I know, who was part of the team got really excited as team leaders that, we'll electrify a village. So I think that's where it never ended. September, October, the marathon. December, the first idea came in. And then December onwards, it was all about, January, the expedition was launched.
And that was the first year where they were trying to set up an electric grid, because like the first expedition, there was no grid element. So it was a model they were trying to validate that whether they can do it.
I think the ultimate goal of seeing that villagers' happiness, right, कि उनके चेहरे पे जब वो first light of electricity आती थी, it like that was the final goal, and we all went there.
दोषी साहब, पहली बार आपके गांव में रोशनी हमारी टीम के हाथों, चलो पहले रोशनी,
There are a few really passionate people that have the vision, okay? And that's what we're doing. And when you meet those like-minded people, everything just falls into place.
So I think what GHE was doing and is also still doing, which is very impressive for 10 years, is very unique. Very few organizations, at least that I'm aware of, are able to make impact, consistent impact at the ground level of such remote communities.
Well, first off, it was so wonderfully well organized. That's the first thing that was delightful. It was the fulfillment of a bit of a dream for me to be able to go up into that part of the world, up into the mountains. As a young man, watching the movie Lost Horizon, where they go to Shangri-La, it was like, oh wow, we're really going to go to this place where all this takes place. And then just the warm welcome that we received when we arrived in Leh was just absolutely terrific. The experience of acclimatizing to the altitude and the steps and care that Firas and Jadip took to make sure that we were strong and healthy. And then the trek in was just marvelous. First, the car ride up into the mountains, and then the trek on into the monastery and the community was just wonderful. The opportunity to work within the monastery, to see how the monastery functions, to actually see the Dalai Lama's apartment, to work in the library of the monastery and the prayer room and all was an unbelievable experience, both intellectually and spiritually.
Initial stages of any kind of initiative, whether that's company like GHE or any kind of startup or any new project, you need to have some kind of operational aspects behind the scene. And I utilized in whatever capacity I could so I was in consulting back then as a profession, and I utilized some of those skills in putting like some of the framework around the documents together, templates together. How do we even create a letterhead, for example? How do we frame a standard communication for that matter? And it so seems that the team is still using some of those templates that we had put back together in 2003.
The Folksam Monastery, lighting up Folksam Monastery was, I still get goosebumps just thinking about it. The way the mountain lit up and that was just a huge experience. It really, I'm so proud of what the team achieved for that one.
Absolutely. I'm a new person, yaar. GHE के बाद तो कोई माए सभी लोग बदल ही जाते. It's a life transforming experience.
It's the commitment and vision to go right against the total conventional thinking. Okay, you really did that.
From working with organizations like GHE. So focus on the mission and our well-being, and then just a lot of humility on them being just such genuine people. And I felt like they were our leaders, but then we also became friends, and like following them, but then also laughing with them and really forming such a strong bond, very genuine. Knowing that everything that they're doing is really out of that passion for helping others.
It's about taking and pursuing big dreams and pursuing those dreams relentlessly in spite of whatever obstacles that come in your way, and then making it happen. So you're initially traveled, it started as a journey where you are lighting these villages with a travel metaphor, a tourism sustainable business model. And then now you have come into northeastern states where you are talking about from electrification, you're also talking about cooking stoves, carbon offsetting, carbon removal, a lot of things. So it's a journey, it's a leadership journey where you take up some of the biggest challenges that the world is confronting, that the marginalized communities are confronting, and you are going to pursue, in spite of all these obstacles, to help these marginalized communities become mainstream.
We used to get all the equipment at home and we would sort it out at home, even the bulbs, the wires, or the t-shirts or the jackets that we all talk about, until late at night, till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and the flight is at 5 for Ladakh, and we are sorting out t-shirt sizing and putting an inventory together, and those minute details that we look back at now, that's what I think drove the passion for everyone, and basically that was the grounding for GHE in itself.
Yeah, well, the reason I was passionate about wanting to stay connected with GHE was just because of I got so much value, and I really appreciated what they had given to me. Selfishly, I liked the idea of being able to give that to other people. And also, when I think back to like GHE provided me quite a bit, but then that wasn't even the mission. The mission wasn't to provide me a life-changing experience. It was to provide a village with a life-changing experience. And then they accomplished both of those missions.
when he came on the first expedition, he discovered himself, I would say. He climbed that 17,500 feet pass called the Kongrumla Pass, I think, or the Kongzila Pass, some of that pass, and he was crying. He really loved climbing. He figured out that walking and climbing is something he wanted to do. And then he kept pushing me in terms of, let's try and talk to that company, let's trying to evolve GHE from an expedition outfit to something more than that.
One of the videos that he did for the World Economic Forum, that was like shook everybody at the forum. Till that time, they were making videos, they were posting these videos, but when this particular video came out, forum's viewership actually went up. So there was this monastery which was very difficult to access, and the video of that lighting up that monastery really made a lot of people come into the forum scheme of things.
And I remember his first call coming from me from Davos in 2016. He says, "These guys are really interested. Your story, which you have developed, is amazing. Everyone loves it. I'm loving it, telling your story, and I'm really keen to be part of it now." So I think he went to Davos in 2016 in January, and he was with me in July or June 2016 as a full-time partner. Jaideep is like a badger. It's an animal which is always running and hustling and figuring out things on its own and never stopping. And that's what Jaideep is. And that's what he has made GHE into, actually. Yeah, never stopping.
I think all of us are sitting here and talking to each other because of them. Seriously, I mean, we are standing tall and we are standing on their shoulders. Really, GHE is all about the people on the ground. They are the ones who made it happen. They are the ones who are working, come rain, come snow, come winter, come summer. They are the ones who are executing things on the ground. And it is so important to have that strong team on the ground who is executing projects, because without them, we are no one. Without them, we cannot be sitting here and discussing all these things. Because and the trust that is there in the ecosystem, right from the northeast to the north to the northeast.
The belief and the dream that they can be a change maker for their own community, they can make it happen, is something they are so proud about. When I told Dorje in January this year that you have to install 30 water heaters at minus 30 degrees in the Changtang area, the kind of pride he had to execute the whole thing and the belief that he could go back, and doesn't have to be leader as you call it, but anyone from that area could actually be involved in the growth and the development of the region. That belief which they got through GHE, I think that is far beyond than anything else they could even imagine. When they get the power to make things happen, I think that is the thing which drives them the most. And that is where you sometimes wonder, is this the eventual thing which GHE culminated into, the passing on the baton to the last mile, phenomenal leaders who have the biggest influence and the power to change and influence and inspire their own community.
If you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk far, walk together. Right? And I think that's what you guys have been doing. You've been walking a lot in those mountains, and conquered is a big word, but I would still use it. You conquered that. Now, you're not conquering the mountains. You are basically conquering hearts and minds.
What I would ideally like to say it as is, I think the world will need you 10, 20, 30 years from now as well. I don't think we are too focused as a generation, too focused on areas that have been left behind.
The journey till now has been nothing short of spectacular. And the journey ahead is going to be nothing short of spectacular.
That's the only way. We have to inspire, empower, and keep up the pace, keep up the pressure. About GHE is this combination of expeditions, exploration with the environment, and showing people, not telling them about what solutions are all about, so people can see it, and that local communities really benefit from that. And I think that's unique, really unique. When we go to Antarctica, the only people that really benefit from that are the people that come on the expedition. There aren't local people in Antarctica that can benefit. So I think that's the uniqueness and the brilliance of GHE moving forward. And you shouldn't move from that model. Inspiration, hope, environment, showing, and exploration. Those are the key things, and that's what I respect about you all.
We always used to say, what is GHE? GHE is in the business of inspiring people. And that inspiration can only be sustained if all comes together to make this world a better place to be in. Yeah.
My name is Destin. I want to be a scientist.
My name is Tabdan. I want to become an administrator.
I want to become a doctor,
engineer.
My name is Tanzin. I want to become a mayor.